Wait, Wavinya, check if the commentary is there. Check if the commentary is there. Hiyo sauti nasikia ni international sound peke yake. I'm not working now. I'm only going to stay for 10 minutes. I'm going to go yeah. One natural, eh? Yeah. Amekapaka headphones ndio live yake. Sawa. Kienda kikangana hivi sasa kienda na headphones.
Attack.
It's very good to know that Yemamwana got well very quickly. I remember my voice not believing me when I told him one time that I was down with my they thought I should have got some better very quickly. It's one of those things you really do not want to joke around with. It's good that he's on the field. The heat as well could just bring him down if he hasn't made a full recovery, but I assume he's got a full recovery. On the Simba side, and that's the team we must be talking about as well, with a very rich history, founded in 1936. They try to come in on the left side. Simba in 1993 got to the CAF Cup finals. They lost to Stella Crab of Ivory Coast, but they at that time, 2003, had knocked out Zamalek from CAF Cup to qualify for the group stages of the Champions League that time. And they're 19 times league winners, now 2017 and 2018 as well. They won it 3 times Tanzanian Cup winners, 5 times. They've won the Tanzania Tusker Cup, and then 6 times the CAF Cup winners. Not a team to joke around with, and just the fact that they've been on the rise right up to the finals tells you that they want at least to get to the finals proper, not just to the semis. Hassan is brought down. The referee says very nicely that Clotas Chama has got to watch himself, otherwise he's going to be carded. Hassan was already engaging the speed there. He was in a totally different gear. Chama brought him down. It's going to be a free kick, and it's going to be for Bandari. Well, if you watch the quarter-final match that Bandari played, you'll remember that Hassan himself missed a couple of golden opportunities that didn't go down well with his teammates as well, because it just needed a touch into the net. But many have opined that he wanted to go and celebrate, and so he was pushing the ball towards the net with the intention of already running to sensationally celebrate. So much so that he didn't touch it accurately. I think that must be haunting him right up to now. Simba Coming in from the right side, they've got two players up on the front who they are relying on, and one of them is MK14 who brings in the crosser. An enticing cross coming from Medi Kagere. The Kenyan side will obviously know Medi Kagere. They've played him very many times when he played for Gor Mahia in the Kenyan League. Trying to begin the build-up in the midfield. Big punch into the box. But he's well defended. Tries to push it further forward. Now Hassan, again not being allowed to be on his feet. I think they've already realized the speed that he's got as well. And Chama needs to watch out, Jacob. He got a yellow card and narrowly survived getting a red card in the last game. But this run, surely, by MK14.
Well, Medi Kagere trying to look for his twin attacker. That's Sadni Oricop, the man from Namibia.
Oricop just fell short of getting onto that ball. Went to begging as they'd like to see. Ball was literally begging for someone to come and touch it towards the net. They're trying to build it up in the midfield, Jacob. What's the formation like? Is it going to be crowded in the midfield, or are they going to avoid it altogether?
No, it's going to be a very congested midfield because both sides have employed for Simba it's 4-4-2. For Bandari, they have a 4-3-3 kind of formation, and that says that the midfield's a bit packed here.
Be interesting to see then who wins the midfield battle, because when you win that one you can wage any other war on the field of play. And yes, the war analogy is often associated with football, so much so that if the coach says that they are professionals, you could equate them to mercenaries. Attempted run by Unicorn is fouled just outside the box. He gets a free kick, and Bernardo Diambo is the man who executes that tackle there. Younger brother to David Owino, who plays in Zambia for Kana, I think.
Yes, you're right. For Zesco.
For Zesco, I think.
Yes.
MK14. That's Medi Kagere waiting for it as well. Then it's top shot here. The shot is a hard one, but it goes off target. Good idea then to actually dupe everybody else that they were going to swing it in and then bring it out to a better placed striker here. But it's just the accuracy of it, Jacob.
Good organization on that set piece. It's just that the final shot did not go on target.
That pose by the coach would make you feel like they've really committed a big crime. He's made it look like not too good. Hassan, that's the speed that they're afraid of. With the attempt to run on the flanks with Nicolas Major and Hassan, you do expect to have some speed on that right flank for the Bandari side. I must remind you, especially if you're in Kenya, that you've got a chance to travel to watch the final of the Sport Pesa Cup. What you need to do is take a picture of yourself and your friends supporting your favorite team and upload it. The hashtag is Sport Pesa Cup. That's on Twitter, on Facebook, and also on Instagram. And the winners will be chosen at random. And hopefully when you get to Dar es Salaam, you can identify yourself to us. We'll be happy to know exactly who got that chance to travel. We'll be happy to make you shine as well. At the moment, those who must shine are the ones on the field. It's panning out to be a very tactful, very tactical game as well, but also very physically involving. You've got to have endurance. Because of the test of the humidity, this will be going towards the goalkeeper from Chikalo. Unicop was arranging for a way of going to it. He's coupled up at the front. by Medi Kagere. This will go out. We've got a lot of guests here, but you'll obviously have recognized that Stephen Pinar, who played for Everton, had a brilliant career in England. But the most remembered one is him coming to Everton several times. He was transferred from Borussia Dortmund to Everton on loan, and then he signed a contract, went to Tottenham, was loaned back to Everton, and then signed another contract at Everton. So he had a good number of years in there, and he's an ambassador for the again. And Chama will have to watch out, eh?
He's a lucky man, Chama, and he's going to be involved in a lot of that because the midfield play is in the middle.
Oh, it's Hassan who was brought down, Hassan Abdallah. They're combining very well with Kingato in that midfield. And yes, they're going to torment a little bit of that midfield as play continues. Chama just was pained to imagine that this has been called for a foul. Oh, you should see the pain written all over his face. It's going to be a free kick here. Oh, it is for Bandari. Just 11 minutes of play gone. Usually got a very, very powerful shot, but I would be wondering why you'd want to start to try for goal from that distance. But they seem to prefer him that way. It's called David Kingatua. Played for Thika United as well. Settling down at the coastal side of Bandari. A very lethal left. Aish Manula takes it. Again, when you've got a team that has got the kind of class that Simba has, you can afford to put some of them on the bench, can't you? Pascal, Serge, where Wawa is on the bench, would you believe it?
Well, I think when you look at the bench of Simba, it's just like the first 11 that is playing here. I mean, the coach even said that out of the 22 players, he has the luxury of picking anybody, and that's why he has brought a very different side today.
I think the luxury would be more of who we can leave on the bench. He's left Emmanuel Okwi as well on the bench. That's the luxury. He's got Tunlende Kisimbo. He's got Zana Koulibaly as well. He's got Kichuya out there as well. Massively big quality in there. This has been adjudged to be a foul. Zamino was going to pick it up. Abdallah seemed to have controlled it with his hands. Side looking for an entry here. They fall short of getting a cross in. Neither do they even get a shot towards goal. Yurikov was trying to get to a place where he can get the ball more easily. He's headed back out as Simba again trying to get the best of the midfield. MK14 is in a very difficult situation at the moment. Good idea not to send the ball to him immediately because he would have been on the offside. Now it's Bandari's turn to try and build it as well from the midfield. Forced to turn right back and try and build it again from the side, and then Bandari lose it. It's Simba will pick it up now. Chama, very, very involved in what's going on in this field here today. Mohamed Hussein, captain of the side as well, with a lovely run. Just running rings and trying to get some space to be able to give the ball out to Kotei. Playing into Mopsi Junko. And they're going to start it on the flanks then. With good involvement from Dilunga as well. The cross doesn't come in. Cut shot on time.
Oh, good piece of defending here by Kata.
Stopped Kianza. Cross from troubling his defenders. That's headed out by Feli Mulumba. Hassan has got some good work rate as well when you come to think about it. Hassan chips it down onto the right side where he finds Nicolas Major. He has some mental decision he made there. the ball out in that direction. Now looking for space as well. And obviously Agade was going to be boxed out here. This one goes off the field of play. Murshid Juko just make sure that he blocks it out. Well, he gets a round of applause for that, Jacob.
Well, it's the body check by Juko. It just shields the ball away from Agade. Ugandan Juko, one of the foreigners that have been paraded by Simba Sports Club here today. They have around 6 in the starting lineup today.
Well, there's been a lot of arguments, Jacob, about the number of foreigners you should have in your team. Some people argue that when you have too many, then you deny the home players a chance to play in their own teams. And some say, look, if it's a professional outfit, it doesn't matter. There could be 11 from different places because you are professionals. What's your take?
Well, my take is that when you have the money and you want success, there is no way you can rely on all home-based players. So it depends on your ambition and your pocket. And I think Simba has what it takes. That is why they have a lot of foreigners in their side.
Should the Kenyan side allow more foreigners to play in their league? If they can afford it.
Why not? I mean, the whole world is about money talks in football, and you don't want to deny other people opportunity.
Thank you for reminding me, Jacob. I've been waiting to hear some money talk in my pocket, but tell you, it's been very silent.
Yeah.
You know, a very, very calculated silence. But yes, it rules the world. It's the biggest motivation as well. But nationalism and representation of your country also does count. Yeah, that's why a couple of times you want to see a couple of players from the country as well in it. This swings on the outside, on the inside rather, from the left foot of David Kingatwa. And Feli Mulumba Shioya was expecting to go for it, but it was too acute. And it doesn't dip on time, because out of the field of play it's going to be a goal kick. But it's going to be for the Simba Sports Club of Tanzania. Deep into the midfield. Now people trying to go for it. Kagere plays it onto the outside, finding the captain. And they lose it again. That possession disappearing from their side. Agade made it pretty obvious that he was going to take it that way. Now they've fed Wadri, but for a long time Wadri was not getting onto the ball at all. Agade with a return, and then they notice the spaces on the left side where Nkata is. He'd like to move inside, but he would like some support as well. This is a little bit too deep as well, but it has been chased down by Hassan. Puts it back in play. Wadri was trying to go for it. Clearance not yet done. That touch is lethal and important as well. This is not one that will trouble the goalkeeper. Second time we've seen a shot coming from that direction, but not accurate, Jacob.
Well, Bandari playing well. They have a very good possession. It's just that I think they are slow off the blocks, and very good one from Agade again in that position. Simba, they are giving room to Bandari a lot in front of the face of goal, and I think that is why Aish Manola is not happy with that. Agade, of course, should have done better in that situation.
Yeah, you shouldn't just give room for no reason. It's a testimony to what the defense is being asked to do. It's a very long ball on the right side. It opens up the spaces for Simba, brings it back now into a cross. And again, it's picked up on the side by the captain. Looking for some good support. Well, the switch play then. This will be out of the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be for Bandari. An appreciation as to where that is coming from. Bernard Malala, the coach of the Bandari side, did play here in Tanzania for a little while, Jacob. He was playing for the rivals of Simba FC.
Yes, he was playing for Yanga. He won 2 titles with the Yanga, and at one time was also named an MVP. So they love him here, the Yanga supporters. Simba, I don't know.
Well, if he's loved by Yanga, you know the opposite will be at Simba, Jacob. So, such is the rivalry in football. It's a friendly rivalry, and especially in Africa, well, all over the world. Here in Tanzania, it's Simba versus Yanga. In Kenya, it is AFC Leopards versus Gor Mahia. In South Africa, you know about the Chiefs and the Pirates. Zamalek. Yes. And the big clubs have often been the targets of the kind of derby machinations that you see. Here comes a cross again at the face of goal because of the field of play. It's going to be another throw-in. It's going to be for Bandari. Football has treated fans to a lot of derbies around the world. Normally, the nicer ones are the ones from one town in which there are two clubs. Of course, you know about Manchester City and Manchester United.
The coach of Simba, Mr. Patrick Zims.
The Bandari side are definitely getting the ball to the other end, but not accurately and not shots towards goal. Just trying to bring the cross from the right side, and a foul that has been given to the Simba side, dangerously close to the Bandari penalty area, courtesy of the Ugandan Pongkata.
Hassan Dilunga doing very well to move there, and Nkata bringing Dilunga down. And the Simba are forcing, literally forcing the wing play, and they know that that is their strongest point in terms of attack, trying to bring in the crosses.
Is it a good thing, Jacob?
That is what they used to beat AFC Leopards. So if that is working for them, why not try it in the next game?
They're trying to bring it from the wings. And it only stops when there is a foul because they are on the ascendancy. It'll be a left-footed swinger. And again, you must watch out for that deceptive play if they decide to just push it to someone else who might be closest. I see Nicholas Gian just hanging about there. It's a left-footed swinger looking for a chance to just touch it. It ultimately just again rolls past the face of goal. Cote is trying to intimate that he should have come towards him, but he was in the best place. That was the place in which he would have been turned into a goal, Jacob.
Well, a very nice taken free kick by the captain, Mohamed Hussein. And I think really, I mean, that one, the Namibian international should have put it in the net. I'm talking about Sydney Oricop. Bandari survived that one for sure.
It's going to be a handful for the defenders of the side, and they have to watch out for him. He's back at the midfield. Saying some enticing play here, and then a foul. No, actually an offside flag. Nurikop should have been watching out where he is. It's Kagere. By the time he was getting to that ball, well, they were judged to be on the offside. Nurikop and Kagere. Simba start to dictate the pace here. Nurikop again decides not to go for this one. He knew he was going to be on the offside. The trap being mounted very nicely. But how do you say, Jacob, earlier on that Farouk Shikalo is being scouted by some clubs around this place as well?
Yes, that's a rumor going on in Dar es Salaam that some clubs are interested in his signature. And his performance in the first game, he was a little bit off color. He was a bit worried in some instances in that game, but I think today he has settled early in the game.
Well, a good number of players have marketed themselves in this Sport-Pesa Cup. Most notably on the field today is Medi Kagere, obviously playing for Gor Mahia and emerging top scorer as well in the Sport-Pesa Cup in 2018. was quickly signed by Simba Sports Club, and they haven't regretted the decision. Hassan looking for space, just managing to outwit his markers by the runs, and he's got Wadri with a good chance and a shot towards goal. Again, hurriedly taken. They are insisting on taking the shots from outside the box. Now that must come with a measured degree of accuracy, Jacob.
Well, the power was there, and he just missed the target. But good play again by Bandari. Good combination play here by Wadri and Abdallah Hassan.
Forces Aish Badola to organize himself, but he knows that if he can pull himself that hard and still have that distance between him and the ball, then it's going to be too high and getting off the field. But Mr. Olsen is making sure that nothing goes wrong. The coach of the Simba side. I must tell you, some of the clubs in Kenya and Tanzania have been very good reasons for coaches to come to Africa. Here is a chance again for the Bandari side. And being worked on so fast, it looked like it just surprised them as well. You don't get a chance in the box like that, unmarked, with a header, and you don't put it in the net.
Oh, that's Wema. Yahya Mwena.
He's going to be looking at himself and wondering what happened, why he didn't put this in the net. The Congolese player. I think we're going to be taking a water break. Well, because of the heat in Dar es Salaam, and because it's an early kickoff, just the fear of getting into a heat stroke, Jacob. Clubs often do agree that they are going to take a water break.
Well, it's a very important one. Bernard, I was just down there. I tell you, it's very, very hot. I mean, and that water break will help a lot, at least, to bring back the players into good shape again.
That's the advantage of tournaments as well. You can come into an agreement of something of the sort. We saw this again last year, didn't we?
Yes,
when
we did.
again there was an agreement for a water break because the temperatures were going all the way to 31. Now I know that there are hotter places than that, but if you're used to 27 or 26 and you get to 31, it's almost like sitting just next to an oven with something baking inside.
All the coaches also are taking advantage of the water break to send in a few adjustment or messages.
Ah, okay, yes. That would be nice of them as well. So they're giving out the notes on what they expect should be done. The fans will equally just take a break to discuss what else they think should be done in this game. But what a color, red and white, I tell you. Often the color of danger, they say, the color of fire. And that's the beauty of being in Africa as well. We use the colors of fire to showcase our everything. The yellows, the reds, the blues, primary colors most of the time. The resumption again, it will be a question of who gets the better of the midfield to be able to string the passes from there. The captain of the side, Mohamed Hussein, has done well on the left flank from where he's plying his trade. But it's this man that you have to watch out for. Mehdi Kagere brings it back to the captain, Mohamed Hussein. Major is making sure that there's not going to be any mistake. MK, then he tries to get a back heel. Now they're looking for a chance to pull a shot. Wadri picks it up. It's a 3-on-3 situation. If Wadri can get past the midfield, King Atwa says that he's been elbowed. But the central defender just makes sure that King Atwa doesn't take off. Now that's usually a professional way of doing it. King Atwa's getting a little bit frustrated now. But I can tell you for sure that Lamin Moro just made sure that King Atwa is not going anywhere from what would have been a through ball. This is being put in for Mehdi Kagere. Out on the left side, on the right side. And he fires, but into the hands of Farouk Shikalo. shot that hits at the goalkeeper. It's that turn that you've got to worry about when Medi Kagere is the striker on the other side, Jacob.
But he tries from all angles. That's a very difficult one, and he was being challenged by two blue shirts, but he managed the shot at least. Azikalo also doing well to deal with it.
The top scorer of the 2018 edition, Medi Kagere. Major will get the benefit of the throw-in. Taken to Wadri and chipped back. Well, now they've got some space on the outside right, the Simba Sports Club side. And they're trying to get into the attacking formation. Oh, beauty cover. Right in front of the referee. He's seen handling the ball, and he's very lucky not to get even a card for it. There's absolutely no way you can get away with something like that.
Oh, this man played for PSMS Medan in Indonesia, in the La Liga of Indonesia, for penning his signature to Simba Sports Club.
Came all the way from the Far East to East Africa. It's going to be a free kick for Simba Sports Club. Out on the right side to Lamin Moro's playing it back to Aish Manula. Just trying to find a way to be able to start the build-up from their side. Chuko push it back to Manula. It's Medi Kagere grabs it out. I think he's trying to get some wing play. Is being marked by slightly diminutive Kata. Two managers together, but now Kata not in his position. Would have to run back there in the full-back position. 0-0 the scoreline in the first half of the first semi-final of the Sport Pesa Cup 2019. Simbazi, but they leave the ball behind. Attempt to power up the flanks with Hassan running in it. But the combination of Abdallah Hassan and Kingatwa that was previously working very well seems to be going down a bit now. Agade was getting involved in the midfield play, but it seems like the Tanzanian side is now controlling it. Attempting to get the ball onto the flanks. Oh, shielded off by Feli Mulumba. Jog back into the midfield to be able to reorganize the midfield and try and get into possession. Wadri doesn't quite get the touch that he wanted, but he gets the possession again and tries to find Nicolas Major on the right side. Enough men trying to cut him down. Major brings in a cross. So long that it goes right out of the field on the other side. The momentum with which he was approaching the ball originally, knowing that he might not find it, propels him even further and forces him to release an early cross. Wadri again has got it onto the end of a mistake that was made by Simba, who lost possession. Attempt to try and get the ball passed by Yemamwana. Doesn't quite work out.
Oh, that's clear retaliation and should be a red card for sure.
Lotus Chama was going to get himself in trouble. It's not the first time here. We've seen it before as well, that he was going to get into trouble. He had a yellow card in the earlier game. And he's done this again 2 or 3 times.
I'm just wondering, in front of the referee and no action taken? Really?
Oh, Nicholas Major is the one who's fouled. Chama is yellow carded.
But there was a clear retaliation from a Simba player, and I think that also should have been punished. Well, there was the tackle. Look at that.
That's very, very deliberate. Very, very deliberate. And Clotus Chama should not be on the field of play at the moment. He should be the man with the most cards in this tournament so far. He's got 2, and you remember yesterday there was a confusion about whether or not he had been given a red card as well. So he's lucky. He almost saw red yesterday.
That was the day before yesterday.
The day before yesterday, I beg your pardon.
When they played the quarters against Leopards.
Again, the Bandari side are protesting. But this time round, it's the captain of the side, Mohamed Hussein, who has elbowed another of the Bandari players. I think Nicholas Major. And you certainly hope that it's not going to degenerate into a very physical match.
Mohamed Hussein was on flight. They were both challenging for the ball, so you wouldn't actually say it was intentional. I think it was just a collision.
Well, they've sized each other up, especially in the midfield, for 35 minutes now, Jacob. They've tried the wing play, they've tried the central penetration as well. The Bandari side has been attacking sparingly. What do you think should be done? What changes do you think you should make to their strategies, both sides, in this game?
Well, I think Bandari don't have numbers going up front. They try to play in the middle, which is okay, but going into attack, they're very thin. Actually, they're leaving only Kingatwa as the point man up front, and in fact, it is Yema Mwana that is being left as a point man, but they don't join him in good time.
Oh, he's been body checked here by James Cote in the opposite number 27. Clotus Chama was also approaching, getting very close as well. The free kick has been taken by Feli Mulumba. Again, no one to pick it up in central penetration. They're spread out on the flanks, the Bandari side. Major will play it with Faruchi Carlo. Somebody just to get into Hassan. Captain. Play it back. They now attempt to get a free ball through. Chama's ball didn't manage to bypass the midfield as Nkata will pick it up for Bandari. Natural left-footed player easily evades the tackling, but Wadri doesn't on his top shot. But then again, the transition for the Simba side, now not getting past the midfield. Big boot on the right side, trying to get Hassan to run, because off the field of play it's going to be a goal kick. Would you say they have matched each other up to this point?
You're right, Bernard. I mean, when you look at it, it's a very 50-50 game. Simba, a lot was expected in terms of attack. They're not able to break that back for Bandari. Bandari on the other side also, they play very reservedly in terms of attack. They are not really threatening Manula in terms of attack up front, but the whole play is being concentrated in the midfield.
Well, that holding was punished as Kingatwa brings it out to the right side. Major. And then again, a very hard boot doesn't drop into the box where the strikers would have wanted it to. But a good build-up from the midfield. It just looks very wasteful if then it doesn't catch anybody else for an attempted goal. Simba, something is happening to the attack every time they get into the midfield. And even the ball possession percentage the last 5 minutes has favored the Simba Sports side. Kagere trying to shield off Nkata and then bring in the cross, which was repulsed on time. It's played all the way back to Nkata. Mulumba then gets a chance to move it forward. Conte. Now it's out on the left side. Farouk Chikalo just stretching to set it off the field of play. Didn't look like he was laboring to do that at all. It's just that it was a good chance on the left, and it's good that he touched it as well, because otherwise the angle was closing in. Sends it out for a corner. It's going to be for Simba Sports Club. Dilunga did want to change the scoreline. Going to go for a short corner, and the captain pushes it forward, send it out. Ingatu and Hassan trying to mastermind how to go out on the speed, and now they've got something on the outside right with the flag staying down. Kingatwa, and then the header that just misses by inches. Wadri getting into position on time, the first time the Bandari is firing and firing straight. But this is one of those ones that you would always ask, how did it miss? Lovely hard cross, and then the touch just getting above the goalkeeper. With Simba now trying their own on this side, trying to get it to Medi Kagere. Taking a little bit long to try and go for the shoots. Now they will have to organize themselves because the defense has also organized itself now. It's a big ball out on the right side. Still kept in play. It comes out on this side for it's going to be a goal kick now. Yuriko will be worrying himself about why that one refused to go into the net. But this comes off the right side. It's Yamamwan actually who brought in that cross, and then Wadri was meeting it. And he could have caught Aish Badula. He did catch him by surprise, only it didn't go into the net.
Good play here by Bandari. At least one decent attack from the right side.
Wadri did score for Bandari in the opening quarter-final match. Bandari trying to stick to their defensive formation. It occasionally does leave 3 red jerseys free for any passing. It's play to Mohamed Hussein. Sees it rolling past the defenders. Shama. Yeah.
It's been a handball, I think.
Shama's going to find it very difficult. If he's not going to play clean, Jacob, he's going to find it very difficult. This is the one that was pushed towards the goal by Yuriko, and then Chikalo just stretched himself to push it off the field of play. Yeah, there was absolutely no need for Chikalo to do that. Absolutely no need. He should have just taken the ball straight, but Chikalo then delays the delivery. The captain's protesting that, but surely Chikalo didn't need to delay it any further than necessary. Adopting the most humble position with the hands behind to question why that yellow card was given, Jacob.
Well, Feli Mulumba, the captain on the Bandari side.
He's allowed to speak to them.
Yeah, he can't change what has already been issued to Chikalo. 2 players on the yellow card on the Bandari side. Major and now Farouk Chikalo.
Well, he voices his concerns in this game about that yellow card. Hassan. He's got the height as well, but today we haven't seen the speed, and he can run, I can tell you that for sure. When he takes off, he does take off. Yuriko with Kagere getting into position and Carter already beaten on the right side. Well, this was just a little bit too long. Didn't need to be taken in that direction. And Dilunga could have cut back into the center, Jacob, because everybody else was moving on the other side. Dilunga could have just made the run and then cut back, and there were enough red jerseys to play with.
But he had a couple of options. Also, the ball that he just brought, he should have carved the ball to run away from the goalkeeper to his striker. He knows he has done not a very nice job here.
Oh, well, sometimes it looks very easy, especially from the commentary booth, and also from a fan. But he probably did think that with the momentum that everybody else has built, that they would be able to get to that ball. Just back into the midfield with the battle to try and take possession. Kinato will be penalized for the foul on Hassan Dilunga. Sets it out. It's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be for the Simba Sports Club side. So we're playing the final seconds of regular time in the first half of the first semi-final of the Sport Pesa Cup. There'll be, in my estimation, 2 minutes of added time. We haven't had much stoppage yet, so at the maximum 2. As again, Clotus Chama picks it up, lays it out for Kagere! He's pumped it into the net in the assassin style that he's known for. One touch in full flight from the right side. And he lights up the stadium in favor of the Simba Sports Club side. What a goal, what a shot. They didn't expect it. I think the stadium announcement was going on about maybe the minutes of added time before halftime. Look at Bandari Kagere. He's already adopted everything Simba. What a shot coming from the right side. One touch. Shikalo, found flat foot here. He starts his dive just a little bit too late. Didn't expect it to come so quickly.
Tell you, this man is a real scorer, because that ball, nobody knew that Kagere would take it on one touch, and it just on the nick of halftime.
Well, Kagere with a hot shot. With just the very last few seconds of the first half, he puts it in the net. Changes the scoreline, changes the way this will be played in the second half as well. At a time when Bandari looked like they had held their own from the beginning right up to the last minute. The scoreline from the National Stadium in Dar es Salaam, Bandari 0 and Simba 1.
Well, Bandari Kagere makes all the difference here at the National Stadium in Dar es Salaam. He scored on the nick of halftime. I mean, nobody was expecting a goal, but Bandari Kagere made use of you wouldn't call it a clear chance. It was actually half an opportunity, and he put it in the net. But in terms of stats, Simba still lead in terms of possession, a massive 57%, and then shots on goal. Bandari has not made even a single shot on goal. Simba has tried 3 times, that's why they have at least 1 goal to boost of it. And then fouls committed, more or less the equal number. So the story in terms of stats, Simba taking control of the ball, more of it in the towards the end of the game here. And that goal actually has turned this game around, because we were headed to the halftime knowing that it's going to be 0-0, but Kagere makes the big difference here.
Yeah, it's just a statistical story. with 11 shots in total in this game, but on target, just 3, and they all belong to Simba. So, I think Bandari have tried to shoot from outside most of the time, but the shots were not accurate at all. And if you take into consideration the ball percentage as well, then it tells you that Simba are in control of this one, and even the goal in the very last moment. Bandari had some good flashes earlier on, and Wadri did look like he was going to get the supply coming from the left side, but all didn't work out. This is a guarded shot from a distance, and they've had 2 or 3 like those ones, but didn't get there at all. Aish Manula was worried about the fact that his defenders are not closing down on those men who are taking those shots here.
Well, you're right, and because they gave him a lot of room to see the face of goal, although they couldn't just get the target, and that is Mr. Colin Sagade. Again, he has had a couple of shots. He knows that he should have done better from that range, but Simba came calling, and that set piece should have made a very big difference had their number 9, Sadni Orikop, fastened on that header.
Yeah, Urikov himself has not been able to get a permanent foot on some of these balls that were coming this way. If he had touched that one with any side of his boot, he tried to backheel it, but it's a very difficult situation to backheel the ball in as well. And the Namibian did not change the scoreline here at the National Stadium. But still talking about Bandari, they had that combination of Wadri, Hassan, and one other who's coupling them up. It's Yemamwana who's coupling them. But it's almost like it's not clear who should take the shots. Wadri has done his best, but who's the out-and-out striker? Who's the finisher who gets the ball towards the net? That would be the big question there, Jacob. That
should be Yema Mwana, but we've seen him disappear from the target, and that's why Bandari have not taken a single shot on goal, on target, the whole 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, it was another chance by Bandari, but that header, again, not very well taken. Still, the big question would be what or who is feeding Yemamwana up front, because they've gotten them going in that direction. I mean, that's a chance and a half getting a free header in that box there and then not utilizing it. Well, let's say just not being on target is the problem. It troubled Aish Manula a bit. He really gave a hiding to his teammates after he'd already made sure that he's seen it off the field of play. He told them what he's expecting them to do. Zurikov was involved as well with Benny Kagere trying to go out on the left side. This was the first time Kagere shot from that distance.
Yes.
And from that angle as well.
While you get Kagere in that position, he will punish you. This time, Farouk Shikalo did well, but look at how many players Kagere goes through, and still in a very tight angle, he takes his first shot. Well, Bandari should have known that Kagere, you give him half a chance, he makes it like he makes it count. That was the first shot that he took from the same distance. And then when everybody else was thinking about the halftime whistle, things changed again. Well, that was again an opportunity for Simba to go ahead, and Farouk Shikalo doing well to push it for a corner. Well, good combination. He was given all the opportunity to take a shot, and Farouk Shikalo was in very good place to push it away for a corner. Then Bandari, they didn't make a lot of opportunities, but this was the best that Bandari had here. Wema Mwana tried to look for Wadri, but Wadri could not just turn it around. He was in a good positioning. The cross was brilliant, but that header, he missed it. Then as everybody was preparing for the halftime whistle, something just happened. A through ball to Kagere. He didn't control it. He just turned and took a shot, and that makes a difference. Bandari know Medi Kagere very well. You give him half a chance, he punishes you. He has just done that before the nick of halftime. But you have to look at that pass from the midfield. It was a defense-splitting pass, and Kagere is a hero for the 45 minutes of this game. No chance for Sikalo.
You just have to marvel at the way he takes the shot himself, you know. The ball is moving, and so it's got the momentum, but it's also running, and it still gives it power to beat the goalkeeper. That's what happens to that by halftime. Then the scoreline has changed in favor of Simba. This is what they've got on the team sheet, Jacob. Do you think there's any need for any changes at the moment for either side of the teams here?
Well, Kigan Demi on Bandari, Moses Mudavadi, the youngster who came in the first game, Wilberforce Lugongo. Weekly for Chomo might be run inside, and I think they need some height and some body in front of goal there, and I think Wilson Weekly for Chomo might be introduced in the second half of this game. For the Simba side, Patrick Ozems, the coach, is spoiled for choices, I'll tell you. There is the Togolese Zana Koulibaly, then there is Paul Bukaba, there is Rashid Juma, there is Jonas Kunde, Haruni Onzima if you have to go for experience, and then of course he wants to kill the game. They have the Uganda international Emmanuel Okui.
So they've got a very good choice, and not to forget Paul Bukaba and Rashid Juma as well on that bench. But yes, they've got options in the midfield, in the striking if they want it. At the moment, I think Medi Kagere has done the job for them and has changed the scoreline for them. So immediately after this, of course, there will be the second semi-final, and that will be the relative newcomers, Bao FC, who hail from Mwanza, and they will be playing Kenya's Kariobangi Sharks.
Well, the fans have come for this early kickoff, and that is a famous way of trying to slash your team.
It's Kariobangi Sharks as they arrive for their kickoff. That will be the second kickoff. Earlier on, just saw Matila Oboto, the goalkeeper as well, Oyema. And they will obviously be in very high spirits in one of the outings. Second time they are on the Sport Pesa Cup. And to see whether or not they can go all the way to the finals now that they've made it to the semi-finals. But we'll wait for that time when that will happen in the game. They might be wanting to rely on Duke Abuya, who's already having a very good tournament so far and has caught the eyes of very many technical people here at the National Stadium. But Bao team as well has made its way to the stadium, so it's not just one team that is playing. I mean, it's going to be the side that will be facing the Kariobangi Shark side. In one of the outings, second time they are on the Sport Pesa Cup, and to see whether or not they can go all the way to the finals now that they've made it to the semi-finals. But we'll wait for that time when that will happen in the game. They might be wanting to rely on Duke Abuya, who's already having a very good tournament so far and has caught the eyes of very many technical people here at the National Stadium. But Bao team as well has made its way to the stadium, so it's not just one team that is playing. I mean, it's going to be the side that will be facing the Kariobangi Shark side. In one of the outings, second time they are on the Sport Pesa Cup, and to see whether or not they can go all the way to the finals now that they've made it to the semi-finals. But we'll wait for that time when that will happen in the game. They might be wanting to rely on Duke Abuya, who's already having a very good tournament so far and has caught the eyes of very many technical people here at the National Stadium. But Bao team as well has made its way to the stadium, so it's not just one team that is playing. I mean, it's going to be the side that will be facing the Kariobangi Shark side. In one of the outings, second time they are on the Sport Pesa Cup, and to see whether or not they can go all the way to the finals now that they've made it to the semi-finals. But we'll wait for that time when that will happen in the game. They might be wanting to rely on Duke Abuya, who's already having a very good tournament so far and has caught the eyes of very many technical people here at the National Stadium. But Bao team as well has made its way to the stadium, so it's not just one team that is playing. I mean, it's going to be the side that will be facing the Kariobangi Shark side.
Welcome back to the National Stadium here in Dar es Salaam, the venue for the first semi-final of the Sport Pesa Cup 2019 edition. Simba leading by a solitary goal that was scored by Medi Kagere in the dying minutes of the first half, and their fans are so happy that they lead in this game. It's all red and white in this stadium. Bandari have not managed to ferry their supporters to the port of Dar es Salaam. It's all Simba. Okay, there's a little bit of blue and white in the crowd, but I'll tell you, those are not Bandari supporters. Simba want to make a very early change in this game here. Very interesting to see who comes in.
Well, I think they've already made a substitution. Pascal Wawa has come into play. Now, interestingly, we didn't have him on the team sheet at all. And he's donning just number 6. He's come in already for Mushid Chiuko. That's just a defender for a defender. You do know that Pascal Wawa controls that defense with everything that he's got. The other substitution they are making as well is 9, who is Sudney Urikov, is coming off the field of play, and they have introduced Emmanuel Okwi, who's also who scored in the last match as well. So he'll be coupling now Medi Kagere up front. You know that's going to be a lot of trouble up front at the moment. I think they're also intending to bring in Aruna Nyonzima to steady the midfield. I'm just not sure who they're going to be bringing out, but it's a triple substitution. It's going to be Hassan Delunga, who they're bringing out. Quality substitutions, Jacob, if you look at what has been done. Delunga was already getting a little bit fatigued. They need another midfielder. Aruna will not work that hard, but he'll work very smart in the midfield. And then they've got Wawa to steady the defense, and now they've also got the other substitute to make things work for them up at the front. Okwi.
Well, you look at what Patrick Osems is trying to do here is just that he knows it's very hot in Dar es Salaam National Stadium. He has players who played in the first game. He has rested some of the players who played in the first 45 minutes. He brings in fresh legs, but look at his combination of substitution. He has brought in a defender, he has brought in a midfielder, and he has brought in a striker. So he's balancing his side well and also wanting to solidify that goal by Kagere and adding more punch by bringing Okwi in attack.
Well, good substitutions if you ask me. Very smart ones in a game like this one. And so we'll wait to see just how the game is going to turn out at the moment. The side has actually conceded one goal, the Bandari side. And as we come to the match then, with those substitutions, it will tell you that Simba this time around want to kill the game earlier. You join the conversation. The hashtag is SportPesa Cup. What do you think about those substitutions as well? And remember, while you're at it, to take a picture of yourself supporting your favorite team. Upload it using the same hashtag, SportPesa Cup. Hashtag SportPesa Cup. Put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook, and also put it on Twitter. I was told never to say Twitter, but Twitter. So put it on Twitter, and you could just be on the way to watch the finals that will be played on Sunday here at the National Stadium in Dar es Salaam. Yep, that's just it. Just your pictures and uploading them. Very, very quality substitutions, I must say, that have been done by the Simba Sports Club side. Now giving you the seriousness, the indication of the seriousness with which they want to take this semi-final. They were beaten finalists in 2018. I think this time round they don't want that to happen. Wawa, with the first touch of the ball, sends it out of that box. Because off the field of play, it's going to be a throw-in. This is going to be Carter to take it. Leaves it to his central defender, Salimu Chiyoyo. Wadri is left chasing that ball right out of the field of play by the right back. Just make sure that Wadri runs out of a little bit of steam going in that direction as it goes out for a goal kick. Okwi with the first touch sending the ball onto the left side. And now it's danger lurking on the Bandari side with a shot just taking the side netting. Wow, he controlled it right in front of the defender, made it look like he was going to take a shot. And that would have been a killer had it been into the net.
Well, I think he should have looked at where it was a very tight angle, and Medica Gere was in a better position. I think Okwi becoming a little bit selfish there.
Well, I think he wanted to announce his
presence
on the field, and what a way to announce his presence. What a shot as well. Well, Wadri has got to play the ball. He's intimated to the referee that he has been fouled, but he loses possession as he leaves the ball to roll. And now with danger men in here, including Okwi, who was trying to get through and was stopped by his compatriot Nkata. It's going to be a free kick. Wadri is lucky. I think the referee was going to get a card from his pocket. And one of the players prevailed on him. It's going to be a free kick. It's taken quickly by Simba. Trying to look for another chance at a shot towards goal. Nicholas Major didn't get it out of the area. Possibly big clearance coming in from Lamin Moro. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of that sign that intimates that the one team is being taken to the slaughter.
You see the jersey of MK14 there.
So he's the chief slaughterer then. But at least the defense is making sure that that slaughter doesn't become just too easy for a big club like Simba Sports Club and for an emerging giant as well, Bandari FC. Carter managing to get in between the passing that was coming from the Simba Sports Club side, but ultimately concedes a throw-in. Again, it falls to Carter. Well, he goes down intimating that he has been fouled. And it's Kote this time round fouls and Carter. Is simply pushing him away. So a chance at the set piece positions for the Bandari club. Major here. We've got King Arthur as well. Your guess is as good as mine. It's got to be a left foot hard shot coming from King Arthur. They would expect to capitalize on any of the deflections that might come from it. It's Major who actually takes it. He doesn't drop on time. And he could have had Aish Manula giving instructions to Aruna, go that side, not this side. When you've got different nationalities as well on the field, you've got to adopt a language that you would call a lingua franca, you know, one that unites everybody else, Jacob.
Well, you're right, and Manula has a lot to deal with. He has a Ghanaian in the side, he has an Ugandan in the side, he has a Togolese in the side, he has a Namibian, so you have to be really...
And he's got a Tanzanian as well.
Yes.
But he's got a Belgian coach, doesn't he? Well, that would be a mini United Nations, I would tell you. With different languages to be adopted there. I think the one they've adopted is English as the lingua franca. There, that sign is the one that has always demoralized very many big teams here. It says you are the slaughterhouse, and it's going to happen to you. Of course, referring to the team, and metaphorically speaking, of course. So the other teams would be the chicken, and then the Simba would be the slaughterer. Quick chip down into the box for Wadri. Manages to turn on time. He hasn't picked it up. I think he'll be penalized for a handball. But Wadri did well. He knew that he's got the big legs of Sergio Awa as well in there. He couldn't have done anything much, but he tried to at least execute a shot here. That touch is the one that actually dissuades him from anything else coming from Nicolas Gian.
Gian stopping Wadri from making any meaningful shot there.
Bit of substitution. King Arthur has been rested. Darius Msaga has come in his place. Has come in his place. If they want him to be running on the flanks to be able to work it from there. As King Arthur was trying the runs in the midfield, but something happened to his speed and it came down very quickly. What do you make of that substitution, Jacob?
Well, it was necessary because in terms of attack, Bandari has not been very promising. It's only now that they've introduced Musaga. Maybe they might find some leeway up front.
Well, for sure that this man, Wadri, has not been getting a chance to even play. He's not even been getting the feed. Maybe with the introduction of Musaga, that could change a bit. This is brought right into the, just close to the penalty area. Wadri take a corner for this, try to push it on the right foot. Saga's introduction having immediate impact. And then with the two corners against one, Bandari make another substitution as well. And they're getting to change Yamamwana. I don't think it's been very... Did Abdallah miss? Yeah, before
Well, Bandari trying to shoot from range. And the same man, Collins Agade. Collins Agade has tried the whole afternoon to take shots, but he's not been able to hit the target.
Well, he come very close now into the box, looking for a chance to kill it, but then Wadri is a natural left-footed player. He doesn't get to him on the left foot. But that introduction of Saga is helping things on the left flank of the Bandari side. Trying to get back into the game. As now Simba pick it up. football not working very well. The 2 changes that Bandari has made might just be of any help to them. This is going to be a penalty. And apart from that, it's going to be a very dangerous clash on that right side. In the attempt to try and stop him from coming on from the left side. And looks to me like Mzamiru will be getting in trouble. Bringing down Abdallah Hassan from the right side. Here it is again. Mohamed Hussein was getting in trouble then.
As the captain of the side.
Zamiru then will, you know, approach it from the right side. So then they're going to get a penalty here. The Bandari side. Down on the ground from a collision. It looked like the captain was coming in from the right side, and then there was another player who approached from behind. The ultimate effect is Abdallah Hassan seemed to have been clipped, actually just banged into. It's good to see him back on his feet, but I'm sure he must have taken a very big knock there for a penalty to be given to the Bandari side. A yellow card has been issued out here. Here it is again. Hassan, well, he banged himself hard. Was it on medical care now? Now we need to get worried about exactly who's got in a yellow card, because something seemed to have been very deliberate. Zamiru Yassin might have been the one who got the yellow card there.
Wadri is a man who has scored at least a goal for Bandari. Can he make it goal number 2 and an equalizer?
Well, did he score again from a penalty spot?
Yes,
and
against
so
Singida.
he's given the same responsibility again. And he's a left-footed player, but his positioning would tell you that he might want to go on the right foot. Probably intends to try and confuse Aish Manula the same way. But he confused the other goalkeeper as well. It's 1-1 with Wadri scoring 2 goals here in the tournament at the moment. Getting to the top of the scorer's chart, 2 from penalties. And leveling the scores for the Kenyan side. Well, he's got the composure and the courage to be able to take the penalty at this point. On the right foot. This must be very confusing to the goalkeepers. And Aish Manula goes on the right side. Wadri sends it on the left side of the goalkeeper. Interesting times then, and an interesting game that we've got ahead of us now. As Bandari again would pick it up in the midfield. They're buoyed by the action as it is at the moment. The handball is given in spite of the advantage. It's going to be a free kick that will be given to the Bandari side. I think there's a substitution for the Simba side. So Mkude is in the game in just 20. and he replaces Mzamiru Yassin. I can tell you the worry is that Mzamiru Yassin could have been red carded in this game. He already has a yellow card.
You're right.
And I think that's why they have left him out. Well, the game changing somewhat here. I think we've got a player who's been stretched off the field of play and has been carried straight out into the ambulance. Back into the midfield then. It's Yanga, rather Simba again try to get their way through on the left side. And I think that Farouk Shikalo should expect that this ball will be coming in hard from that side every time.
Number 19.
This was a cutback here. I think, Jacob, in my observation, it was Mzamiru who actually was in that collision with Abdallah. And I think that collision has left him all the worse because he's been carried all the way out to the ambulance.
Well, it was a tough one, I would say. And he's already been stretched out the pitch of play, and Jonas Mkude has taken his position.
Yeah, Jonas Mkude has been introduced into the game. It brings the number of substitutions on the side to 4. On the Simba side, I think 5 is what is accepted. He's headed back to Mr. Aishwadula. So 1-1, Jacob. As a coach, how would you look at it if you were coaching one of these two sides?
Well, I'll tell you, Simba still look like they have the punch to go forward. Bandari, they are a very silent side. You don't know when they're going to attack. And this game has not been an obvious one in terms of attack. Only that individual brilliance by Mehdi Kagere has made the difference. And then the foul on Abdallah causing that penalty. Kagere was way offside.
He actually came from the offside position by the time he's receiving this. He came from the offside position to come back in. That's a decision that has been very well taken, but it's been a learning curve here as well. We did have some very interesting calls as well in the games that we have won so far.
Kata in trouble here. This time, I think he's going to the referee's box.
Mr. Captain is actually trying to intervene on his behalf, but Fred Carter has been yellow carded. Things get a little bit gagna, if you'd like to say, usually in a game, and occasionally tempers flare as well, but Carter should have been more careful.
You need to be, because now with that yellow card, you need to be more careful in how he tackles. He's been set free for a long time, but this time the center referee had to take action. Simba making another substitution here.
Yeah, they're bringing in everybody. And 25 is going off the field of play. Coming into the field of play, I beg your pardon. It's Kichuya who has come in. So they probably want to change the formation on how they're playing, realizing that this game being 1-1 needs to be turned on its head. Otherwise, you do know that should the games end, any of them at 1-1, or 0-0 or a draw of any kind, then they go straight into penalties to decide who's going into the semi-finals. In last year's edition, there were very many penalty shootouts, but here we've seen only one. The through ball is not very well done, with Kagere having gotten into position. He didn't get to him on time. Can they do it better, the Simba side? A low ball. There's going to be another foul given on the left side of the attack for Simba.
There is a new substitute Look at that run by Mohamed Hussein. He did very well, but his delivery, Kagere can't believe it, because he just needed to play in front of Kagere and things will be different. He made a very good run.
Yeah, and then they picked up the ball again very quickly. And so in the rush to try and clear things here, Bandari calls a free kick. And Saga Darius is the man who's guilty. Try to bring down the captain of the side. So an in-swinger from the left side, but on the right foot. Enough men up there. It's a little bit selfish as well. It doesn't go to anyone. It doesn't even find the target. Emmanuel Okwi, I think today, really not bringing in his accurate mind to this game, Jake.
Oh, that's just a waste of a ball. Waste of a set piece. And Okwi, he believes in himself a lot. He's brought in new punch in terms of attack for Simba.
It's back in the midfield. Simba are actually controlling the game, but they're not stringing the passes. Kichuya. They've had not much coming from the left side, but now they need to make it work. Here is Emmanuel Okwi. This one goes all the way outside to try and attempt to bring it for a cross. You would have been excused if you thought there was a handball earlier on, and the referee just let it pass at that time. Because that's what it looked like as well from our side. But Shiza Kichuya has come into the game. Wadri. Some self-belief going up front. The coach wanted them to help quickly enough for a throw-in, but realizing there's a substitution going on the other side. So it's Bandari. They're bringing in quickly for Chomo. They realize they need some firepower up front. In as much as Chomo is a slower player for the Bandari side, they're thinking they should use him all the same. And Yema Mwana this time round will go to the bench. He's been ineffective up front. I don't think he's gotten any feet. We've seen Wadri more of the time and on the left side. And we haven't seen much of the central penetration, Jacob, from the Congolese.
Well, you've summarized very well. I think Yema Mwana has not fully recovered from his bout of malaria. And weekly for Chomo, he played the first game now. He gets into play. I think that is what Bandari needed at this time in the game.
Well, Chomo will definitely hold his own. He's a big and burly striker. He's played for the military side as well, Ulinzi. Now then, maybe speed will also be of the essence. One player down on the ground. Carter decides to send it off the field of play because they've got a player on the ground. Getting scrappy sometimes as well. I don't know if the Simba side is showing a little bit of frustration in this game, Jacob.
They are, of course, and I think that equalizer has unsettled them somewhat.
That's the one, you know, just a little bit of a sweep onto the ankles. And woe unto you if you had a previous injury. It gets very easily aggravated by just a touch to the ankles. Again, one of the painful places in which you can get a hit if you are a soccer player.
Kichuya, he sends the ball so far. I think he was looking for Okwi.
So Farouk Shikalo will start it then. And Bandari managed to latch onto it, trying to look at where to send it to. They got the new man, Bandari Vs Simba, out on the right side. He brings it across. It's a big one. Then Hassan Abdallah. We haven't seen much of him and his runnings in this second half. Actually, this Bandari side will be rich in self-belief for the moment. And especially after getting the better of the defending champions in the Kenyan Premier League, Gor Mahia. They came out guns blazing. Still have a very good record in the Premier League. This is where they needed a Chomo to be able to try and push his way into that area to work for their sides. I was telling you about Bandari, which is a team, one of the few teams that have not lost any matches in the beginning of the SportPesa Premier League in Kenya. This is still in play here. Abdallah.
He's been quite wasteful, this Abdallah, this afternoon. We've not seen his famous runs, as you put it, Bernard.
Well, we haven't. He's not had a chance at all to go through any of those runs. This is a better ball in a better position now. Abdallah should have played that ball. Well, he decides not to interfere with it, thinking that it's going to be offside. But then he should have looked at the line as well. Pascal Wawa knows just how dangerous that was going to be. It's a throw-in for Bandari. And just the fact that they're getting a chance to walk, close to the penalty area should worry the Simba side. This is a foul. Oh, Master having pushed off. Gian not very happy about that. Well, you had it all on camera, didn't you? It's going to be a free kick for the Bandari side. Well, you get the happenings as well. Gian simply pushing off Mr. Hassan Abdallah after he was holding the ball and keeping possession. At this point, Gian gets frustrated. And then he claims he didn't do anything.
Players are the best actors.
Oh, he protested vehemently. How? He has not done anything. Wadri on the right foot. The goalkeeper has parried it out. Two men going for the shot. It's in the net. It's from the right side. And the new substitute, Wycliffe Ochomo, puts it in the net. He simply just had a heavy, hard shot from the right side. After Wadri's cross went all the way down to the right side. It leaves Aish Manula going left and right, back and forth, and ultimately hits the net.
I tell you, we are going to have a very interesting 18 minutes of this game. Look at that corner set piece by Wadri. It was punched by Manula, but look at that finish. A super finish here by Bandari. He placed it on the far post, and no chance for any Simba player to even make any effort there.
Whoa. Now I'll tell you something else again. Ochomo actually just celebrated it, but he's not the one who's put it in the net. It came from the right side. There it is again. Now the shot, I think, must have come from Luke Gogo. Wilberforce punches the ball from the right side. Well, it's Lugogo who put the ball in the net. The scoreline is now in favor of Bandari by 2-1.
Well, the character of Simba being put to test here. They have bought a lot of players, and they have changed a lot of players also in this game, and Bandari has only made 2 changes here. We see who's going to carry the day. And they have only 15 minutes to turn this around. Simba, they have a Herculean task ahead of them here.
That's going to be a massively big test in front of the home fans here. And they were expecting, of course they are expecting the best to come out of this one. But the test, like you're saying, Jacob, of character is very hard on the Simba Sports Club today. They've made 5 changes in the game. They've brought all the big guns. Lamine has been very, very strong in defense, but then it also comes from that side of the left side, quite unexpectedly, with Lukogo punching it into the net for the Bandari Sports Club, for the Bandari's football club side. 2-1 is the scoreline, and we have a game in our hands, a true semi-final. A big question, Jacob, how would you advise them to play?
Well, I think Simba are trying to rush this game. They have lost their head. They are being frustrated here. And if they continue like that, then Bandari will get a third goal. Wawa commits a foul on Ochomo, claiming his innocence. Yeah, there was a clear push from Wawa. And that's a foul. Well, Bandari turning things around here. Going for a hard one, doesn't get it. Now, what can Simba do? Leon Zima. Throw in for Simba. Kian make the throw. The coach is very concentrated here. He is wondering what else he can do because time is not on his side. We have actually 14 minutes on the clock here. Kichuya. Kian on the right corner for Simba. They now have to rush things up.
I think they're realizing that time is not on their side, so they've got to play with urgency. And this one takes a deflection that goes out for a corner from Kian on the right side. And now we'll have to see the real test. If they play at speed, what happens? And if they don't have possession, what happens as well? Dala Hassan was trying to go for that. The big ball up front, if Nkata can control it, if Wadri can control it, it will work for them. Here is Wadri racing with the goalkeeper, the only one remaining here. Wadri tries to go in on the left side, he's cutting across. Ochomo had already gone down. This would have been for Ochomo to finish. But I tell you, a lot happens in that box as well. Ochomo was brought down slightly earlier than the ball got there, Jacob.
Well, I was surprised why Ochomo is down and Wadri was looking for him there.
And now the Simba side have got a player down on the ground just next to the goalkeeper. Oh, that's him trying to pick himself up after Wadri had tried to turn him in left and right. Jan brings in the cross, deflection sends it up. It's back into the midfield. Ochomo again trying to get Wadri to run. And Pascal Wawa then stops it short. Exciting times, Jacob. As Bandari tried to resist the attempt by the Simba Sports Club to level the scores here. 53% ball possession for Simba and 47% for the Bandari side.
Okwi trying to run through the four blue shirts, but he ends up losing possession to Sikalo.
Well, this is the one that Bandari could have gotten into the net. This one got into the midfield, and then one touch of it from there sent it to Wadri. It looked like it was going to go out of the field of play, but the chase by Wadri puts it back on his own side. And he had only one player to beat, and he manages to beat him, turns him in and out, and then crosses. But Ochomo has been brought down earlier on, so he can't get to that connection.
Well, Bandari is still pushing forward. They want to score a third goal and kill this game. Well, that's too far.
I think that's too ambitious by Lukogo.
That's Msaga.
I beg your pardon, by Msaga, Darius, in just 11. Yeah. You get desperate about this time, Jacob, don't you? And start shooting from all distances.
You shouldn't when you are leading, like Bandari is. I would expect that from Simba.
Again, it's Gian who tries to lift it onto the right side. The Ghanaian was trying to feed the ball into Kichuya. This one's not working in their favor. It's an amazing display, we must say, of football at the moment. And the Simba coach would be a little bit worried, and you can understand with just about 10 minutes in regular time remaining. Still a game, still a lot of time in the game. But still, with what is happening at the moment, he can't be sure about it. Wadri runs, controls this one. From going out of the field of play, everybody else had left it, kept it in play, his own side, and the defender comes running, turns him inside out. Look at Ochomo. Oh, he slipped actually. Oh, gone down much earlier on, losing his footing in what would have been the easiest connection for Ochomo. It's a water break. This for the second half of the game, with the temperature soaring high. I would make it about 38. It's important for the players to rehydrate.
Well, the second water break in this game. It's been called in after every 30 minutes, but now it's been called in, I think, in the 40-minute mark of the second half, 30-minute mark of the second half also. Well, if Simba lose this one, all the big four, you would call them in Kenya and Tanzania, will have been eliminated for the championship. Simba, Yanga is already out. Gor Mahia, defending champions, are out. AFC Leopards are out now. The only big side you would call that has remained in this championship is Simba. They're on the verge of being eliminated. They have 9 minutes to turn this around.
Barolokwi then tries to put in a through ball. There's a clearance that sends it to Wadri. That's a danger man on the Bandari side. And a through ball right on the outside right to Hassan Abdallah, who also does usually move with speed. He had space. Could have controlled it, could have come in closer, and he knows it as well. Simba was going to be starting it then in the midfield. They've got the big guns out now. Okwi is already running into position. Oh, and manages to sneak the ball away from Major. Cuts it back. Oh, this one just misses. What a cutback by Okwi. And Farouk Shikalo will be breathing a sigh of relief here. But that was an easy loss from Major, who had already picked it up.
Actually,
and then
it's
Odiabo, who had already picked it up, and then he leaves it again. And this one, question will be, how did it not get into the net?
Harun, with his massive experience, he misses an opportunity to equalize for Simba. Harun Niyonzima,
Oh well.
He's international, he misses that one.
Oh, Bernardo Diabo, actually, the man who lost that ball very easily. He will thank his lucky stars that Niyonzima did not pump it into the net. In the zeal to try and get the goal, he went in just a little bit too hard. Hassan Abdallah is now playing with Ochomo. Actually, Ochomo playing off Abdallah, Hassan Abdallah. Mohamed Hussein is having to run very big distances on that right side because of that new combination of Ochomo and Abdallah. Gogo and tries to carve it. They should not waste those balls, Jacob. It will come to haunt them if they don't make good use of them.
Well, you're right, because you need to know how to manage and lead in such a knockout tournament.
Well, Ochomo put through by Wadri. And then Ochomo just doesn't look where he was going to pass the ball. And he loses the opportunity to make it a little bit more difficult here. Ochomo's going to get a yellow card, says the referee. Came in as a substitute. And has been penalized for what the referee thinks was a deliberate foul.
Well, that's the 4th yellow on the Bandari side. The other ones to Shikalo, Nicholas Major, and Freddie Carter. Now it's Ochomo.
Let Simba will go out on the left side with Bandari organizing their defenses. This should have been another one that should have been going towards the net. Farouk Shikalo totally beaten to it. And Okwi getting his head to it. He knows that he's lost this one. and that contact in the box seemingly working out the worst for Farouk Shikalo. I think it's just a landing.
There was no touch.
No, it's a landing. He just landed awkwardly because he missed the ball, you know. That whole impact of trying to push the ball out, then hits the ground with it. I think Farouk Shikalo is also in the knowledge that it's just about 4 minutes remaining here, so he wants to take a little time off the game with all those incidences that are going there.
Well, Patrick Obzem, the coach of the Simba Sports Club, knows that he has only 5 minutes to turn things around here. He has made all his substitution now. Bandari on their side, they have brought only 2 men in the game. They have the luxury, three substitution actually. And Bernard Malala is on the verge of making it to the final for the first time that Bandari are participating in the Sports Pesa Cup.
Well, we got 4.5 minutes, Jacob, and added time as well. And again, if a goal would happen at about this time for Simba, you know, we go for penalties. And Gormayo will tell you, when it comes to penalties, anything happens. Even the captain becomes a mere mortal. It's a foul here. And Lamin Moro will be lucky not to get anything out of this, because this was also looking very deliberate. Ochomo now managing to at least have some physical contact with a very big Lamin Moro. But look at that clearance, it's not for the ball at all.
It's an obvious foul here by Lamin, a frustrated face here.
So it's going to be Hassan Abdallah who will take it from the right side. And then the referee says played now. He's got a very heavy shot, this man. And that's what I was worried about, that it takes just too much energy into that ball. You don't waste these opportunities, you make them count for you. Didn't carve it well enough. It's too large a carve. It's almost like, you know, what the heavy commercial vehicles do take at the time, Jacob. It's too long, too wide. This is back into the midfield with the red jerseys being the bulk of them in that midfield. Pascal Wawa. He's got Emmanuel Okwi out on the right side, trying to get to a good position and looking for a through ball all the time. This one, was it gonna work? This time round, Major sends it off the field of play for a throw-in. A cross that is picked up in the midfield. Zima out there as well. Gian not getting to this one as Kata pushes it out. They've gone into a defense mode, Jacob, with just about 2 minutes of play remaining. And picking up an easy ball. A nice one to Wadri. He was trying to control it in between the two defenders, Lamin Moro and Pascal Wawa. But a little nice chip that came from the midfield. I think Lugogo doing very well together with the new midfielders as well. It is a shot from the left foot taken by Zika Kichuya. Goes off the field of play. Just about 1.5 minutes in regular time remaining. And another of the Bandari players is on the ground. The shot coming from Zika Kichuya doesn't trouble. Doesn't trouble Farouk Shikalo at all. Well, the only thing is an injury at this time would force you to be stretched off the field of play for play to continue. Simba bench is a worried bench.
Sad faces from those players. They know that they are just 1 minute away from elimination. So are the fans. They're just mesmerized. I mean, they're wondering, are we really not going to be in this final?
3 goals we've seen in this game so far. That's the most prolific of them all. In the 45th minute, Medi Kagere, also known as the Assassin, also known as MK14, launches onto a loose ball in full flight and puts the ball into the net. And this is a penalty after the foul committed in the box on Abdallah, gifted it to the Bandari side, with Wadri changing the scoreline to 1-1. And then the ball out on the other side, the shot coming from Lugogo, and taking no deflection at all, goes into the net with Lamin Moro watching it, and the celebration is with the Bandari side at the moment. Ochomo manages to wrong foot Lamin. This one is intended for Wadri. Well, his height. Why is Aruna Nilzima doing that? The referee would make it look like Wadri is the guilty man here. But surely it's just a retaliation coming from the goalkeeper. Well, interestingly, it's Wadri who gets the yellow card from Georges Gato. Yes, he was close to the goalkeeper. Shouldn't have been trapping the goalkeeper at all. And yes, it's probably merited. But then the goalkeeper as well, Manula, should be penalized for what he did, Jacob. Here it is again. He picks up the ball. He continued to play. And look at Ais Manula's elbow.
Yeah, and well,
yes, there was here, of course, contact, which should have been a foul in the first place from the referee. But Manula continues.
the obstruction by Wadri,
Yeah.
and Manula is what has made Wadri be carded.
Yep, but that's retaliation also, the elbow. Okay, if you go by what happened first, then, yeah, Wadri had already infringed on the goalkeeper. It's going to be a free kick for the Simba Sports Club side. We're playing 4 minutes of added time in the first semi-final of the third edition of the Super Cup. Okwi waiting for too long to try and turn on that ball. And it rolls off the field of play. The Bandari are making a substitution again. Moses Mudavadi coming into play now. He will be substituting Abdallah Hassan.
Dala is tired, of course, when you look at how much runs he's made in this game. He has no more. His gas is already finished for sure.
Yeah. A little bit unfortunate that there's no gas station at this point in time. It's just about the 93rd minute that we are playing now. And yes, Jacob, now we can say Bandari are on the verge of qualifying for their first ever final of the Sport Pesa Cup. But that's if they keep it this way for the next 1.5 minutes.
Well, I think they will, because Simba doesn't even look like they have the urgency to get an equalizer. It looks like already they are frustrated. The way they are playing doesn't give me any hope of them getting an equalizer unless something happens. Extraordinary, of course.
Well, Ochoa penalized for a foul. He was tussling for the ball with Lamin Moro. And a free kick given to the Simba Sports Club side. They are all moving forward. A big put forward. Oh, Bernard Lodiambo not pushing it out. Chiyoyo pushes it out of the field of play. The throw-in is quickly taken by Simba. Coach watching very intently. You couldn't issue any further instructions at a time like this, Jacob, could you? Well, very last minute.
Very little that you can do, because we are playing actually the last minute of this game.
Fonte will take it for Simba. Simba were eliminated by Gor Mahia in the 2018 finals, 2-0. They've gotten to the semi-finals this time round. They were expecting to make things much better. But then again, the question is, can they, with the 1 minute remaining, get a chance to try and push the ball back into the box with Wawa coming in to assist here? The pressure is on. Carter trying to defend it. This one is not yet out. Ochoa pushes it to get some leverage. It goes out for a throw-in. Just about a few seconds in added time, and we've counted 94 at the moment. It's out on the left side. Headed out by Feli Mulumba. And then still being pushed out by Wadri. Pushes it out for a throw-in. Everybody's watching, and for the time, the bench wheeling the whistle to go. There is a final whistle! Bandari continue with a very good run, both in the domestic league in Kenya, and qualify for their first final of the Sport Pesa Cup. They are assured of at least $10,000 US. The Simba fans are crestfallen, Jacob.
Well, they cannot believe what they are seeing here, but it has just happened. Bandari has made history by being in the Sports Pesa Cup for the first time and getting into the final.
well, they will be celebrating it. Falengolumba leading them in the celebrations. A hard-fought match, but they played to their plan, Jacob. They didn't adopt any other pattern, but played only to the instructions they had from the coach.
And that is what has paid off on the Bandari side. I mean, they kept their calm, they attacked when it was necessary, and that makes the difference between the two sides here.
Well, the final score from the National Stadium in Dar es Salaam, Bandari 2 and Simba 1. Changes a lot of what was the expectations here at home. With the Simba fans obviously, well, talking about how obviously they were going to go into the finals. A difficult time sometimes, and I can tell you that times are changing in East African football. And times are changing more so for Kenyan football. That's the story in statistics. 45% ball possession for Bandari, but they did the best with it with 8 shots, similar to what Simba had. And then the 2 shots that Bandari had on goal have resulted into goals as well. And the men who will be feted for this is Wadri and Lugogo. There are 2 corners apiece. A difficult time here. I think the more difficult thing at the moment will be for Bandari to celebrate it. They won't know exactly whether to think they have overachieved or to prepare to achieve even more. And we'd like to find out exactly what it is like on the touchline. Ali Hassan Kauleni is there.
Walai hayawi hatimaye huwa walitangulia kufunga bao. Nazungumzia Simba, bao ambalo kwamba liliwapa nguvu ajabu, lakini kumbe Bandari ilikuwa inawasoma, ikarudi mchezoni na dakika 45 za kipindi cha pili ikapata si bao moja ela mawili na kutinga katika fainali. Mgeni ambaye hana adabu amekaribishwa kwa mara ya kwanza makala haya 3, ameingia fainali, amemtupa nje Simba aloingia fainali mwaka jana. Kwa mara nyingine Wadri ameteuliwa kuwa mchezaji bora wa mechi ya leo. Congratulations once again, second match in a row, man of the match. How are you feeling, brother?
Wow, I'm so proud to be on such a thing. Like I did, I must keep working harder so that I could help my team to the top. Yeah.
When you are taking for the second time in a row, taking that penalty, what was going through your mind? Come closer here. What was going through your mind?
Wow, it's always that's the responsibility which the coach gives me, that I'm the one who's responsible to take those penalties, and I'm more confident of it. I always score 100%.
Congratulations. There is a check here for you worth $500,000 from Steven Pina, former Everton midfielder. Pina, how is it? Welcome to Dar es Salaam.
Thanks for having me. It's been a great reception from the people, and obviously a good show of football today. And obviously Wadiri played really well. He scored a penalty and he created almost a second goal, so it's deservedly so man of the match.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, brother, once again, and all the best in the final. Ni mchezaji ambaye ametamba sana huyo Wadri kwa mara ya pili mfululizo, manake mechi yao dhidi ya Singida aliishia kuondoka na mfano hundi $500 hizo. Leo tena dhidi ya Simba ametamba na kuwa kigogo, maana alifunga penalti alipofanya dhidi ya Singida. Ajabu ni kwamba kuna baadhi ya mashabiki ambao wamefika hapa, wajirani yao chache ni ya Wakenya, wanaimba na kuishangilia timu ya Bandari, na shuku watakuwa ni mashabiki wale wa timu ya Yanga. Kwa hiyo tumemaliza shughuli, kilikuwa ni kifungua hamu tu, mechi ya kwanza robo finali, ambapo Bandari inakuwa timu ya kwanza kutinga finali. Je, itacheza dhidi ya nani? Tunasubiri, maana dakika 90 zijazo zitaamua kama si penalty. Anacheza Mtanzania mwingine, tunaizungumzia Mbao dhidi ya Kariobangi Sharks. Mechi inafuata muda si mrefu ujao.